Ford muscle cars have earned legendary status by combining raw power, unforgettable style, and a fierce racing spirit. These cars have left an indelible mark on automotive history, from the iconic Mustangs to the track-ready Thunderbolts. Number 8, 1970 Torino Cobra. In the 1970s, a car stood out and made waves, capturing the attention of car enthusiasts everywhere. With its stunning performance and stylish design, the Ford Torino quickly earned the title Motor Trend Car of the Year for 1970. This legendary muscle car was built to impress and made its mark on the road, with features that still make it unforgettable today. On top of that, the engine was a powerhouse. It was a massive 429 cubic inch V8, producing a jaw-dropping 375 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque. This gave the car an exhilarating performance, accelerating from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.6 seconds. With a top speed of 152 miles per hour, it was built for speed and power. Whether you were on the street or at the track, the sheer force of this engine was enough to leave anyone in awe. Moreover, the car was equipped with a 4-speed manual transmission and rear-wheel drive, which added to its excitement. While it wasn't the most fuel-efficient car, averaging just 10 miles per gallon, it was never about fuel economy. It was about raw performance and driving pleasure. This iconic car came in 2 variations, featuring the same powerful 429 cubic inch engine, but with slightly different power outputs. The standard model produced 370 horsepower and 450 pound-feet torque. At the same time, the Super Cobra Jet version cranked it up with 375 horsepower and just under 500 pound-feet of torque, making it an even more formidable presence on the road. Beyond this, the Torino was part of a significant redesign in 1970. Ford had introduced a new intermediate lineup, with the Torino becoming a standout model among the many choices available that year. Its stylish and aggressive look quickly captured attention, especially in the GT and Cobra versions. Even in a lineup of 17 models, this car shone brightest. One of the reasons the Torino was so well loved was its combination of power and comfort. Despite its muscle car status, it had a surprisingly composed handling feel. Despite its performance capabilities, the car was hushed, making it a comfortable ride. The car's rear weight helped with acceleration, allowing for a quick takeoff and competitive 0 to 60 times. Inside, it featured a Hurst-shifted manual transmission and a competition suspension with staggered rear shocks, ensuring a smooth yet responsive drive. For those looking for a bit more flair, there were muscle car touches like the exposed headlamps, a blackout hood, and rear window slats. It was a true head-turner on the road, with fat polyglass F60 by 15 tires on 7-inch wide Magnum 500 wheels, adding to its aggressive stance. The iconic Cobra insignia even indicated that this car meant business. Also, this legendary car also had a custom camshaft to enhance its performance further. The engine was rebuilt, blueprinted, and fitted with a high-rise manifold, allowing air to move efficiently through the massive 429 heads. In short, this car was a legendary piece of automotive history. Before moving to the next car, if you enjoy this video, do like and subscribe to the channel. Number 7, 1969, Mustang Mach 1. Back in 1969, a muscle car was born that would go down in history as one of the most iconic machines of its time. With raw power, bold design, and undeniable street presence, the Ford Mustang quickly became a favorite among car lovers. This car demanded attention, yet still had all the features to make it a practical choice for daily driving. Now, let's talk about power. The engine was a massive 429 cubic inch Cobra Jet V8, packing an incredible 335 horsepower along with 440 pound-feet of torque. This made the car capable of launching from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.7 seconds, a remarkable feat for its time. With a top speed of 115 miles per hour, it was more than just fast. It was built to perform on both the streets and the track. Plus, This muscle car had a 3-speed automatic transmission and rear-wheel drive. While it wasn't the most fuel-efficient, averaging just 12 miles per gallon, that was never its primary focus. It was about performance, power, and the thrill of driving. The car's aggressive stance and impressive power made it one of the best daily racers, blending comfort with sheer excitement. The Mach 1 was built for performance but retained all the features you would expect from a street car. Unlike some other high-performance models, it didn't sacrifice comfort to enjoy a smooth drive, with the added thrill of a powerful engine. It was a car that could be driven every day, whether you were heading to work or racing down the highway. Furthermore, it had all the aggressive styling that made it stand out on the outside. The front featured an AA fuel dragster-style bug catcher, sticking out through the hood, adding a touch of authenticity and flair. The hood was nearly entirely flat black, with locking pins in the front, reflecting the true spirit of NASCAR and road racing. These locking pins were secured with plastic-covered steel cables, ensuring they didn't disappear with the first eager collector. Even the side mirrors were styled to cheat the wind, housed in body-colored fairings to reduce drag. Despite this, the dual exhaust system, ending in 2 pairs of chrome-tipped pipes, was a sight to behold and added to the car's aggressive tone. When the engine roared to life, it rumbled in a way that put its competition to shame, letting everyone around know that this car was not just for show. One of the car's most outstanding features was its incredible torque. It was instantly available, so you didn't have to rev the engine to feel the power. That immediate response made it perfect for fast starts and smooth driving, whether cruising down the highway or taking on the drag strip. In the end, this muscle car wasn't just about looks, it was about performance. And everything from the engine to the styling details was designed to deliver an unforgettable experience. With its power, comfort, and head-turning design, it earned its place as one of the most legendary cars of its time. Its impressive torque, unique features, and unmistakable roar ensured it would remain a classic for generations. Number 6, 1971, Mustang Boss 351. The 1971 Ford Mustang Boss 351 is one of the best-looking muscle cars ever to hit the streets. With its sleek design and powerful performance, it quickly became a standout in high-performance vehicles. This car has a 351 cubic inch V8 engine and a thrilling 330 horsepower and 370 pound-feet of torque. With these numbers, it could race from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.8 seconds and reach a top speed of 117 miles per hour. Speaking of appearance, this Mustang wasn't just about power, it also had an unforgettable look. The racing stripes, sloping rear end, and minor rear spoiler combined to create a look that demanded attention. It wasn't just a car, it was an experience. Behind the wheel, you didn't just drive a boss, you felt like one. Further, the Mustang Boss 351 was an expertly crafted performance machine. It came with a 4-speed manual transmission, which gave drivers complete control over the car's immense power. It also featured rear-wheel drive, ensuring an authentic muscle car driving experience. Regarding handling, the car was equipped with Ford's competition suspension system and power disc brakes, making it an excellent choice for both straight-line speed and tight cornering. The 3.9 1-to-1 limited-slip rear axle improved the car's performance capabilities, providing smooth acceleration and better handling. One of the standout features of the Boss 351 was its unique engine. The Boss 351C Ram Air engine was designed with a 4-inch bore and a 3.5-inch stroke. This engine was selected for its durability, with 4-bolt main caps at all journals to reduce flex. Internally, it was built with premium quality parts, including a nodular iron cast crankshaft that offered superior strength. The forged steel connecting rods were specially treated for extra strength and durability, ensuring the engine would perform at its best for years. Not only this, the Boss 351's engine also featured impressive cylinder heads. These heads were designed with staggered compound valve angles and closed combustion chambers. This design allowed for better airflow into and out of the combustion chambers, which improved overall performance. The valves were positioned in a semi-hemi layout, enhancing the engine's efficiency and power. Externally, the car featured a steel hood with twist locks and dual functional hood ducts. Depending on the body color, the hood, lower body, and rear closure were either flat black or argent painted, giving the car an aggressive yet refined look. The dual-color keyed outside mirrors, chin spoiler, and distinctive hockey stick tape stripes on the flanks all added to the car's unmistakable presence. With all these features, the Boss 351 was more than just a muscle car. It was an engineering work designed to deliver the best performance and style. Whether you were cruising down the highway or taking it to the track, this legendary Mustang made sure every drive was an unforgettable experience. Number 5, 1967 Shelby Mustang GT 500. In 1967, Ford revealed a machine that would forever change the world of performance cars. This powerhouse Shelby Mustang GT 500 was equipped with a Cobra Le Mans 428 cubic inch V8 engine, capable of producing an impressive 355 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque. With that kind of power, it could sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 6.5 seconds and reach a top speed of 128 miles per hour. While sharing some similarities with the Ford's 427 V8, the engine was designed with a focus on passenger car use. Unlike the 427, which was more of a racing engine, the 428 was built for smooth performance on the road while still delivering a fierce power punch. Paired with a 3-speed automatic transmission and rear-wheel drive, this car offered an unmatched driving experience. The fuel economy, averaging between 9 and 12 miles per gallon, wasn't the best. But this car wasn't made for fuel efficiency, it was made to perform. Interestingly, the GT 500 was a high-performance version of the Mustang GT, but some notable upgrades made it stand out even more. The shift to a big block engine gave it the muscle to conquer the streets and the track. Carroll Shelby's influence on the design was minimal after Ford moved production to Michigan, but the result was still a car that captured the essence of the legendary Shelby name. Additionally, the Cobra Le Mans engine roars to life from the moment you turn the key, letting out a ferocious idol that demands attention. It's the kind of sound that turns heads even from a distance. The clutch is firm, providing a clear signal that this car means business, with a performance pressure plate that ensures every gear change is solid. The Hurst shifter, though well-worn, still has that chrome-plated lever that takes a little effort to move into gear, but it's all part of the experience. As you pull away, the power steering feels effortless, a typical feature of cars from the 60s. It is easy to steer with just one finger. The driving experience is a perfect blend of vintage power and comfort. Despite its raw power, it feels smooth and refined, making it just as suitable for cruising down the highway as turning heads at a stoplight. This car wasn't just about numbers or specs, but about the feeling you got when you drove it. With its commanding presence, unforgettable sound, and exhilarating performance, it quickly became a legend in its own right. Every ride in this beauty reminds you of what makes muscle cars so unique. Raw power, thrilling speed, and a look that never goes out of style. Number 4, 1969 Ford Torino Talladega. In 1969, Ford was racing against the clock. With NASCAR adding more high-speed tracks to its schedule, it needed a car to keep up. Dodge had just revamped their Charger to improve aerodynamics, leaving Ford with little time to respond if they wanted to remain competitive. So, within a matter of weeks, Ford transformed the Torino, adding a longer nose and an overall more aerodynamic design to help it easily slice through the air. The result was a car that looked fast and could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 6.5 seconds, with a top speed of 129 miles per hour. Speaking of power, this car was powered by a strong engine that churned out 335 horsepower and 440 pound-feet of torque. With rear-wheel drive and a 3-speed automatic transmission, the car delivered the performance you could feel when you hit the gas pedal. While the fuel economy averaged just 8.8 miles per gallon, it was the kind of car built to perform, not conserve. Remarkably, this car was more than just a speed machine. It was a legend. The Torino Talladega quickly made a name for itself in NASCAR, winning the first 5 races of the 1969 season and eventually pulling off an 11-race win streak. It was so successful that it was named after the Talladega Superspeedway, where it made its mark. It wasn't just about racing, though. The car was also sold to the public, giving regular drivers a taste of the performance that had made it a track superstar. Ford offered 2 powerful engines for the Talladega. One was the 428 cubic inch Cobra jet, available for dealerships. The other, the larger 429 cubic inch V8, was reserved for racing. This powerhouse was driven by Richard Petty, who raced it to multiple victories, while David Pearson took the Talladega Special to win the NASCAR championship that year. Above all, the car itself had unique aerodynamic features. It was based on the Fairlane Torino Cobra, but with crucial differences, giving it an edge on the track. The front nose was stretched 5 inches, and the grille was flush with the body, eliminating drag. The front bumper was a rear bumper from the Fairlane, narrowed to fit, and the rocker panels were raised by 1 inch, allowing the car to be lowered for racing without breaking NASCAR's ride height rules. It might not have been the muscle car that every enthusiast dreamt of, but the Torino Talladega had its unique mission and delivered in every way that mattered. With its sleek design, powerful performance, and racing success, it remains a standout piece of automotive history. Number 3, 1969 Mustang Boss 429. This car was a true legend from the golden era of muscle cars, built for pure power and speed. Only 1,358 of these beauties were made, which makes them incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. It was designed with a specific purpose, competing in the 1969 NASCAR circuit against the mighty Dodge Hemi. Ford produced this limited edition model with a massive 429 cubic inch V8 engine to meet the homologation rules, which is where the name came from. Amazingly, the engine was an absolute powerhouse, churning out 375 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque. It was paired with a 4-speed manual transmission, giving the driver complete control over the rear-wheel drive, ensuring a thrilling experience every time you took it out on the road. The car could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 7.1 seconds, with a top speed of 118 miles per hour. While the fuel economy wasn't excellent, averaging only 9 to 12 miles per gallon, this car was never about saving fuel. It was all about performance. On top of that, the Boss 429 wasn't built as a street racer or a drag strip dominator. It wasn't meant to rival the Corvettes, and many muscle car fans were initially disappointed. However, Ford's goal with this car differed. It was about qualifying their new racing engine for NASCAR. They took the engine and placed it in the 1969 Mustang Fastback to make it street legal. This car wasn't just a beauty, but a serious racing machine. The engine had a 4-bolt main, a forged steel crankshaft, big port aluminum heads with staggered valves, and crescent-shaped combustion chambers. It was packed with a 4-barrel Holley carburetor, ram air, and an aluminum high-riser intake manifold, making it a true powerhouse on any track. Despite the raw power, the Boss 429 was surprisingly well-equipped for a muscle car. It had the plushest interior decor available in the Mustang lineup, with an 8,000 RPM tachometer to keep track of the engine's screaming performance. The exterior was clean and straightforward, with just a few decals, a hood scoop, a front spoiler, and the iconic Magnum 500 wheels. This car was built for performance. Even the suspension was upgraded to handle the power. It featured beefed-up stabilizer bars, a trunk-mounted battery, and traction bars for better grip. While the Boss 429 didn't set the record for quarter-mile times, it made up for it in high-speed stability and handling. The suspension was tweaked to give the car better geometry, helping it handle better than other big-block muscle cars of the time. It wasn't just about getting from point A to point B, dominating the track, and making a statement with every drive. This car wasn't just a Mustang, it was an icon that remains one of the most legendary muscle cars in history. Number 2, 1968 Torino GT. This car was a true classic of its time, offering style and performance, making it a great competitor to the Pontiac GTO and Plymouth Roadrunner. Produced in 1968, it was based on the Fairlane, but came with a few upgrades that made it stand out. The Torino GT was a step up, with special emblems and trim that gave it a unique look compared to its siblings. It was available in various body styles, including a 2-door hardtop, a 4-door sedan, and even a station wagon. But the sporty 2-door version captured the hearts of muscle car enthusiasts. Under the hood, the standard engine was a 289 cubic inch V8, which produced 195 horsepower and 288 pound-feet of torque. This engine was paired with a 3-speed manual transmission, giving the driver a classic driving experience with rear-wheel drive. It could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 9.1 seconds, with a top speed of 112 miles per hour. While the fuel economy wasn't the best, averaging 14.2 miles per gallon, this car wasn't built to be a fuel saver, but to impress. Inside, the Torino GT had a brand new interior design for 1968. The dashboard was completely revamped, featuring 4 round pods arranged around the steering wheel. The first pod housed the fuel gauge and temperature warning lights, while the second displayed the speedometer, going up to 120 miles per hour. The third pod had gauges for the alternator and oil pressure, and the fourth pod was left blank unless you added the optional clock. This new layout gave the car a modern, stylish feel that matched its powerful performance. Overall, the Torino GT was a car that offered the best of both worlds, a beautiful design and impressive power. Whether you were cruising around town or heading out on a long drive, this car always made a statement, proving that Ford was ready to compete with the best. Number 1, 1964 Ford Fairlane Thunderbolt. This legend on the list made a huge impact when it was first introduced in 1964 and continues to be a legend today. Built for one thing, speed, it was a drag racing powerhouse that Ford had high hopes for. The car's reputation for dominating the track started with its incredible performance. It could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 4.6 seconds and finish a quarter mile in 11.8 seconds, reaching speeds of 123 miles per hour. That power and precision made it a real contender in the racing world. In addition, the heart of this car was its 427 cubic inch V8 engine, capable of producing 425 horsepower. Some say it could even push closer to 500 horsepower, making it a true monster on the track. The engine had a compression ratio of 12.7 to 1 and was fitted with 2 4-barrel carburetors to ensure it had the power it needed for those lightning-fast runs. While the performance was undoubtedly the show's star, the car also had a perfect design for its purpose. It featured a raised hood to make room for the powerful engine and a streamlined, lightweight body to help it move as quickly as possible. The front grille was understated, but the most noticeable difference from the regular Fairlane was the single headlights on either side due to the racing modifications. Despite these changes, the car still had the classic, timeless sedan look that people loved, making it as attractive as it was powerful. Summing up, this car's legacy was solidified when it set a drag racing record with an impressive 11.61 second run at the Lions drag strip, reaching speeds of 128 miles per hour. It's no wonder the car still holds its value and is considered one of Ford's most wondrous creations in the racing world. With speed, power, and that unmistakable 1960s charm, it became an icon. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.